Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 364 of Off the Charts. And I have with me here co-boss, I believe, how we decided here, from Real Gun Music, which is Gordon Anderson. So welcome to Off the Charts. Glad to have you here. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Dan. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. Okay. So first thing first here, I've talked about this record company that you have here on my channel many times, but then you guys went and released something completely amazing about a month or two ago. Well, it was announced 2 months ago or something like that, which I'm gonna go with this one. This one I was looking for word for a long time. When this came out, literally, I got your email and I was alone and I was like, oh my God, they finally did it. So I'm just gonna show you guys what I have of Real Gun Music. So this was, and you must know the price, what this is going for, the original copy, I'm assuming, or yeah,
Yeah,
between
that was
600 to $1,000 Canadian.
yeah.
So yeah, thank you for this, by the way. Really, really, thank you. That is so Blue
You're
Murder,
welcome.
Nothing But Trouble. I've got Baton Rouge, Shake Your Soul. You'll kind of see where my style goes here.
I can see already.
You can see
Let me
already,
know.
right? Yeah, Brittany Fox, Bite Down Hard.
Yep.
I've got 18, I think. My friend who introduced me to these guys has 33 of them.
Wow.
So your mortgage is in good hands, by the way.
Yes. Thank you.
Faster
Thank your
Pussycat
friend.
Whipped, Firehouse, the
I knew that was
self-titled,
coming. I knew that one was coming.
Hardline, Double Eclipse, Harem Scarum, some good Canadian love here. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
We had a special Canadian edition too. Did you know that?
Is that the
I
one I
don't,
have? No.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Mine
Mine's
was
just
red
red.
vinyl.
No, it's
That's
purple
red.
actually.
I got to check which is which, but
Okay.
anyway, you scored
Okay,
it.
so Harem Scarum. Then this was actually new for me. Marvelous 3. I know the relation with South Gang. So Marvelous 3. And of course, Marvelous 3. Saigon Kick.
Yep.
And of course, Saigon Kick. And
Yep.
what's not must have Saigon Kick.
A completist.
Yeah. Oh, that I'm gonna have questions for you that for Taikedo,
Yep.
Unruly Child, and last one here. I'll just put them all. Well, sort of last one here. All the Voivods here,
Yeah.
and of course I forgot this one
Canadian.
here.
Yeah.
Wild Side, gotta have that one.
Yeah.
And of course, I have to have this. A Mighty Wind. This I love this movie and love the songs. So,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
first things first. Why don't you just tell us about a little bit about your company, what you guys do here?
Wow. Well, we've been around almost 15 years. I've been licensing reissues, working in the reissue field for, dare I say it, 40 years.
Okay.
And I'm still able to talk in complete sentences sometimes. Um, uh, we both came, I was hired to start a music mail order catalog and label called Collector's Choice Music back in the early 90s.
Okay.
And then my business partner, Gabby Castellana, Anthony Gabby Castellana, I should say, um, both ended up working for a company that has that owned a wholesaler named Super D and now owns Alliance. So they basically, which is the biggest wholesaler in the music business. When they bought the company we were working at before that, which is a company you wouldn't know called Infinity,
Okay.
Gabby and I decided to start this label on our own. So we set off. I knew I had the connections at a few places that I could get some stuff. What really helped us in the beginning was our friends at Rhino let us do some Grateful Dead
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
on CD. That was, that was big. And then actually, we got some titles out of Abco, which
Okay.
is Alan Klein's old company that controls the early Rolling Stones. We didn't get any Rolling Stones, but
Yeah.
we got some good stuff out of them. Um, and and then we just took it from there. We built on the relationships. In the back catalog music business, where you're licensing stuff and putting it back out physically, it's a much more stable business than I think the hit driven, you know,
Okay.
contemporary music business is. So a lot of the people that have been dealing with have been around for a long time, and that's really helped. That
Good.
relationships are a big part of this part of the music business.
Cool. Okay. Um, so you mentioned reissues. So is that all you're doing? Like I know you guys do vinyl and CDs, not as much CDs as you do vinyl, correct? Or
Yeah, for many years we were probably the most CD centric reissue label, and then about 5 years ago, right before the pandemic, we kind of did a 180 and got heavily into vinyl. Yeah, reissues. Aside from the album I put out by my daughter and her band, um,
which one is
reissues
that,
are.
by the way?
How what was that?
Which one is that?
Her band was Vikita, and her name is Edie Anderson.
All right, I'll check that.
She made a solo record. Um, Aside from that, though, we do that. Reissues is all we do. Although reissues is a little bit misleading because sometimes we do brand new compilations or things that have
Yeah.
not come out, unreleased things that have never come out before. So I kind of prefer the term, like back catalog.
Yeah, like well, reissues, you mean that it existed at one time on
Right.
vinyl, more like those South Korean presses, I'm assuming, or
Well,
if
I
you like
mean,
that Blue
there
Murder
was
was just available as a South Korea pressing.
right.
That's what I kind of mean there, like the rare.
Well, I mean that, and that's another. You raise a good point because a lot of times, we're not really reissuing anything. We're taking something that was on CD only
Oh, okay,
and putting
okay.
it out on LP.
Oh, okay. So you do stuff that maybe did not exist on vinyl at one point, and
Right.
oh, okay, that's so to me that's an issue, I guess, as opposed to a reissue is
Right.
again taking. Well, we're just
Right.
talking how my brain works versus yours there,
Yeah.
but okay,
Well,
well
that's
that's
why
good to know.
I think back catalog is a better term because
Yeah,
it
back catalog. So whether it was available on just a CD or never did a vinyl, you guys can probably do.
right or never came out at all.
Oh yeah, or never came out at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you decide then which albums to reissue or issue?
Yes, that is the question. Um, well, uh, every title is different. There are some obvious things like how much if it came out before. Well, that's a big one right there. Has it come out before?
Yeah,
Like a lot of things that you held up, um, never came out on vinyl in the United States
exactly. Yeah,
or North America.
yeah,
So that's one big thing. Like, you know, has it been out? Obviously, how much it's selling for if it has been out, how much in demand does it appear to be? Then, you draw on your history selling that kind of music. You take a look around just to see what kind of chatter there is, maybe.
mm-hmm. Okay,
But it's not an exact science, but I wish it was
yeah,
because sometimes we'll reissue something and we'll be this is going to be a slam dunk and it kind of tanks, which is a bummer because vinyl's pretty expensive to produce.
yes,
Then there are times when we put something out, we're like, holy shit, we didn't make enough, and we end up reordering before it even hits street date because we could see from the pre-orders that we were going to be totally back ordered on it.
yeah,
So it goes both ways. I like the latter situation a lot more than the former. But you know, you gotta accept that you're not gonna win every time, and you just got to be careful with your cash flow and make sure you don't overextend yourself.
Yes.
That you know you can live to fight another day if you put out a stinker or two.
I'll have a little funny question at the end, and you'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, those guys." um, so then you I guess you do a short run of these vinyls,
It
or
really varies and it depends on what you define as short. Um,
like to
it,
me,
it,
a
it
short run is 500 copies, let's say.
yeah, we tend to stay away from that because um, there's too much startup costs involved that if you just do 500, you can't, amortize the startup cost across enough units, so you have to price it pretty high. If we don't think we can sell more than 500 units, we're probably not going to do it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, I think
Um.
we have
Oh,
done things under 1,000, but 500 is pretty slim.
oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Um. So the you have, like I said, on your website, like a suggestions
Mhm.
email. Is that the info at realgunmusic.com email?
No, it's actually suggestions at
Oh,
realgunmusic.com.
okay. Because I'm gonna
And
write it down.
yeah, yeah, I think one of the things that makes Real different from a lot of labels, and this kind of goes back to my years when I was doing the mail order catalog.
Hmm.
We were carrying reissues from every reissue label in the world, pretty much, and we had a lot of customers that came from my job even previous to that one. But I won't get into that story. But basically, it was a very since it was mail order, we were dealing with the customers, interacting with them quite a bit, and we started getting requests like create tons of requests for stuff to come out. And this was back, so the early 90s. So this
Yeah,
now, back then it was like, okay, what hasn't been out on CD they had on LP. Now we want
exactly.
80, you
Now
know.
it's the opposite. Yeah.
Exactly, right. But so there were so many things that had not come out on CD. And so I just started saying, okay, that's a great idea. I can see that there's a lot of demand for this. So it became sort of a populist record label in a way where I had my own favorites and I did a few things that
Hmm.
to my personal taste, but a lot of it was driven by customer requests. Real Gone, we still do that sometimes. I mean, actually, that Hardline uh, release was, I think we first got the idea from a customer suggesting it to
Oh,
us.
really? Okay.
And we definitely look at every customer suggestion. Um, a lot of customers, what's hard is it's hard to say no because, there's a lot of things the customer suggests that we wish we could do,
Hmm.
but because of the circumstances surrounding the ownership of the material, it's not going to be possible. And you
Okay.
can't really explain that to anybody or why, you
Yeah,
know.
it's
So
because I know I've sent an email maybe about 2 years ago when I saw that little. I just forgot the address there, which brings me to my next one. Like the Blue Murder one and the Firehouse one, the timing of their release, correct me if I'm wrong, was sort of at the same time, like a few months after the passing away of John Sykes
right.
and CJ Snare. Was that the reason, or
No,
not even?
no. Those things were
Wow.
in those things were in the works for a long time.
So
Yeah. We
so how
requested
long
those.
then does the you know point A to, like, what's the process of making a vinyl? Like your artwork, like buying, I don't know if you buy masters or you rent them for a X period of time. I've heard here and there.
It's different on every project, but I will say that um like I think that hardline we probably suggest we Universal owns the rights to that and we send a formal proposal to them probably a year or two before
Oh
it came
wow.
out.
That
Yeah.
long. Okay, wow.
And Firehouse I think that was a Sony release and same
Sony
thing.
BMG. I've
Yeah, I and same thing. It there's a long time that elapses between submitting a request and getting approval. A lot. I mean, it could be years, like a lot of years.
Because yeah, a lot of years, because that timing for that Firehouse and Blue Murder was spot on.
Yeah, but honestly, we weren't trying to capitalize on anything. It was just these things were in the works for a long time. We finally got them cleared, and just fortuitously, or well, not really fortuitously, if you know what I mean,
Yeah, I know, yeah.
um, but it just happened. That was just the way it worked out.
And what styles of music are you mostly concentrating on for your website or your company? Anything or
Well, yeah. So what I was starting to say is that our label's a little different. It's populist, like I said. It's also, I would say, at least among North American labels, the most eclectic. Um, a lot of labels reflect the tastes of their owners. Um, and if you can make that work, that's good. We have always been pretty agnostic about style. I mean, let me put it this way. I'll do things that I don't personally like because I know they'll sell, so I can do things that I do personally like that may not sell. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's actually yeah, that's a good way
Yeah.
to
Yeah. So there have been times when I've worked in my personal taste, and usually when I've done it, it's worked out that it sold okay too. But occasionally maybe I'll take a flyer on something that I know isn't going to sell that many just because I like it. But then there are other things that I've done that are gonna I just know they'll sell, and doesn't matter if I like it or not. But I would say um, you have put your finger on your personal taste. Actually, is a real sweet spot for us as a company commercially right now, because all that stuff that came out in the early 90s,
hmm
it all had the same story behind it. They were really good, like pop metal albums that grunge totally obliterated commercially, that
Yeah, don't
there was still an
don't get me
audience.
started on that. Yeah.
Well, there was still an audience there, right? But
hmm
the record labels weren't interested anymore, and they let the bands go, and they didn't bother putting the stuff out on vinyl because CDs were taken over. They didn't bother putting it out on vinyl in the U.S. And that's really the story behind like half the records you held up.
And
That's what happened.
exactly, they all basically came out well
Yeah,
in the '90s, basically there.
right.
Um, Now, are there any? I don't know if you can. If you can't say it, then don't. That's fine. There any upcoming hair metal or hard rock releases coming that may interest us here?
Uh, Let me see what's on the old schedule. It's hard for me to keep it all straight these days. But let me hang on one
Because
second.
this channel here has a lot like is very hair metal friendly,
I
and
can't imagine why.
yeah. But yeah, they're so hard to find, and I just love
Yeah,
you guys just for like I'm like, oh my God, now that's available, as opposed to you pay
sure.
less than $100 as opposed to 1,000 for that Blue Murder.
Well, we're kind of veering. We do a ton of stuff for uh Halloween,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
so we got a lot of Halloween titles coming up that don't necessarily. I don't think we have anything that exactly fits what you're talking about. We're actually doing a lot more sort of metalcore and even death metal these days,
Okay.
just because that we've been able to get the rights to a chunk of that stuff. A lot of it came out on the Roadrunner label, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but
Yeah,
so we're doing bands like Deicide.
I saw
Uh,
that. That's a little too heavy for me.
yeah, I understand. Well,
Just a
it's
tad.
fucking. Oh, sorry for the language, but it is very heavy.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and we're doing like The Devil Wears Prada,
Yeah, I
um,
saw that. Yeah.
which is definitely pretty. It's not pop metal by any stretch of the imagination. Um, we do have. I mean, this is a little different, but actually, by the time they made this record, they were kind of more metal than punk. We do have the Don. We've done the Donna's catalog,
Yeah,
and
I saw that. Yeah.
we have Bitchin' coming out, which was the record they made after they left Atlantic, which people have been requesting ever since we started
Good.
doing the catalog. And so that's coming out this fall. with some bonus tracks and some band input. It's been great to work with them. They've been amazing. Um, but of the pop metal stuff that is your bread and butter, we don't have anything currently scheduled, but that doesn't mean we don't have requests in with people. I mean, a lot of it, Universal owns a lot of it,
Hmm.
and so we're trying to get some stuff out of them.
Well, guys, I'm going to put the email down here. You go and email this guy if you you want some
We
releases.
read them. We Everything that comes in, every suggestion, we read them, and not only that, when I get it, I do a little quick research to see if it's feasible, and if it's feasible, we take it to the next level, and if we get through one more round of like, you know, analysis and inspection, then we actually go for it.
Like an example of something that people want is that Motley Crue '94 self-titled one. It
Right.
it
There's probably no chance in hell we will get Motley Crue.
oh really?
Yeah, because it's just, A-list artists like that, um, the label that owns it isn't going to give it to a third party. The
Gotcha.
reason it, the reason it hasn't come out is probably either legal or there's a faction in the band that doesn't want it to come out. But a third party label like us, unless we had a very lucky day, probably are probably is not going to get our hands on something
All right.
from an artist of
Damn.
that. No, listen, I feel your pain. Believe me.
Oh yeah,
Um,
there's the rat infestations one that I'm looking for, the Firehouse 3.
oh,
Uh
well, Firehouse, you know, uh, that's something we could potentially get, but there are complications with the licensor. So, and things change all the time.
yeah.
Uh, that's one thing. If one thing I've learned, you know, in this job that is a good life lesson is that, I mean, it's a cliche, but it really is true. Persistence pays off. If if you get if somebody says no, take it in stride, but circle back later because things can change, and just be patient and maybe,
Yeah.
not always, but maybe sometimes it'll
Cool.
come
All
through.
right. Okay, then now is my little funny question
Okay.
here. So when
All
you
right.
said, certain albums will sell. So I subscribed to your newsletter and
Hmm.
I got this email. I think this was maybe a year ago where Nitro's album was now available for $3.99. And anybody who watches this channel knows how much I loathe that band, but I have it upstairs, okay? I not yours version, but another
Right.
normal version. So I it's considered a joke band among many people, but a lot of people like them. Okay, but when I
So
saw the
we
three
thought,
ninety nine sale, I was like, oh boy, that doesn't look good. So my
yeah,
question is, no chance of Nitro's #2 album coming out on vinyl?
I would say that the odds are long.
But yeah, that's now last question. This is a if you don't know, that's fine there. But it's a question a lot of people have asked me. Do you know how vinyl works? Like, you know, you must press, how many, and then you got the needle going into, and the sound stays in the grooves. Do you understand the science behind how sound stays in grooves? Or if I don't know if I'm clear with the question here. Like
Well,
I do not understand how vinyl works. Like how does the sound stay on the album? Or like I've seen little videos here and there on YouTube about how vinyls are made. You got the silver first what do you want to call it?
lacquers,
The
lacquers,
sorry,
I
what?
think. Lacquers.
Yes, that. And then it's
Right.
put into some sort of tub with
Well, that's
electrical,
plating. That's
yeah, that.
plating.
And
Right.
then there's the
Then they
test
make,
pressing, but you
yeah.
don't understand how the like
Well, you know, I'm not by any means an audio engineer,
Hmm.
but they cut lacquers with a lathe. So basically, they're playing the music is uh, you know vibrating on the needle, the lathe that carves into the material of the lacquer,
Hmm.
and so when you put a needle on it, you're hearing that back. I mean, I think I mean,
Yeah.
but there's probably some audio engineers saying, "God, that guy owns a record label and he doesn't
No, I
fucking."
don't want to put you in a bad.
But I don't. I mean, obviously, I don't get too
Yeah.
in the weeds with that kind of stuff. But you cut lacquers, they make a mother from which they create um, the records, and lacquers last like no, they make the mother makes the stampers, I should say, stampers. So if you ever go to a record manufacturing plant, they just take it looks like silly putty, like a
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
fistful, and then you've got the mother, I mean the stamper, and it's well named because you just place that piece of putty, which is the PVC, on this platter, and then down comes the stamper and squeezes it into a record.
Hmm.
And those stampers last about 500 to 600 copies until they have to replace them with a
Oh, okay,
fresh.
I did not know there was a limit for that.
Yeah, and so there's a which cr- mother which creates the stampers.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so I mean, but if your audience is really interested, you know, if you look around for a record pressing plant in your neighborhood, I most of them will offer tours if you're really interested. It is interesting. It really is. It's fun.
I've
And you
only
might even
seen
get
the
some,
videos. Yeah.
yeah, you might even get some swag out of it. I wouldn't
All
be
right,
surprised.
awesome. Because see, the reason I was asking is like that part of the sound just baffles me because as a kid, and this is a sort of little tangent, I was watching this TV show a la Murder She Wrote, something like that. And there was a murder that took place in a pottery place. And while the murder was happening, let's say, hi, my name is, and the guy before killing the guy goes, hi, my name is John Smith, and I'm going to kill you, Nancy Jones, let's say. While that was happening, a vase was getting carved,
Oh, there you go.
and
Yeah.
then the police, all they did was they listened or they played like a vinyl that pottery thing. Hi, I'm John Smith, and I'm gonna kill you, Nancy, whatever. And I was like, okay, is that actually possible? Like, I know the theory is there.
I don't know. I don't know if that's possible, but I think that is a very crude approximation of what happened.
All right. Anyway, I just wanted to ask that as a joke. But anything you want to add before we sign off here, or
Well, first of all, I appreciate the support of people like you and your audience.
and my friend that's got 33 of your releases too there?
Yeah, him too.
He
Definitely.
introduced me to these guys actually.
Yeah. Um, so it's a privilege to work in the music business. It's always been my passion. I play music myself. It sometimes it pisses me off, but in general, it's a pretty great job. And if I told my teenage self that this would be the job I ended up doing as an adult, I think I would have signed on pretty quick. So can't have that. Can't doesn't work without an audience. So keep buying music, keep going to live shows, supporting bands. Music is one of life's great pleasures,
Hmm.
great releases. I don't need to tell you that. I mean,
Yeah,
but yeah, thanks for the support and keep rocking.
perfect. Well, no problem, man. Like, keep those products coming out there. I'm gonna put the email address where you can send your suggestions to Real Gone Music, and I'm actually gonna put also the link to your website where they can actually go and order, and you can sign up to their newsletter every. I got an email today, but
Yeah.
is it usually every
And
Friday?
we send something out generally every Thursday, pretty
Okay.
much. We do put out a lot of things, so
Oh yeah, yeah,
there's like half a dozen new releases a month, and in general they're a little lower price than you'll find them in stores, in
yeah.
general.
Sounds good there. Okay, well, I want to thank you, my friend, for doing this here. And guys, check this website out. This, again, whoever's watching this channel knows this music is right up their alley here. So go and bug Gordon Anderson.
Feel free.
But yeah, don't bug him there. Just send him some suggestions there, and you never know.
You never know.
Mine had Blue Murder. My email had Blue Murder way back. And mind you, I think I sent that like a year or two ago. So I
Yeah.
don't really remember there. But you may get another new email from me. Who knows? But but anyway, I want to thank you for this, doing this. Very informative here. And like I said, go check out Real Gone Music. I think they're the most interesting record label right there out there. Again, for our tastes here as to who watches this channel here. So thank you on this.
Thanks, Dan.
And on that note, guys, have yourselves a great whatever, and we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.